You starting now?
Yeah.
What was I supposed to say? Yo, what's up? It's Nova.
Hey, it's tech. We working on the intros. No sweat.
I was just like, huh? Okay. How y'all doing today? How's the world doing? Be out here back for episode episodic. I was trying to say episodic 3, but that doesn't make sense. But
I mean, technically it is episode 3, but the second episode we still working on getting that one out. So you'll get that at some
oh,
point.
that's true. It's the forbidden episode 2. Might be a legend.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
It'll be one of those lost files when we finally get it together. Like, yeah, you finally got this together.
Be
Yeah.
like worth some money. Yo, you got episode 2, bro.
What happened to
And they
episode
were such
2?
a what? And they was such a small little podcasters.
Yeah.
Now they're on their Joe Rogan level, and no one has ever heard of episode 2.
Joe Rogan level. Okay.
Sorry, I'll just get that again. But hey, since your name starts with heck, hit us with the topic. Seems very relevant.
Oh yeah. So this past week, July 19th, to be exact, 2024, Crowdstrike, the cybersecurity logistics company, decided to put the world on pause by pushing out a update that wasn't really supposed to be pushed out or did not go through its checks and balances, causing airlines, causing businesses, causing hospitals to stop surgeries for unless it was an emergency. So yeah, to my knowledge, Crowdstrike in the next couple of weeks is actually going to be going to Congress because the House of Representatives, they want to know what's going on and how this came to be and why it affects so many things in our country and across the globe. In fact,
It is crazy. I did see someone who couldn't even open their fridge. I did see that.
no
Like I
way.
saw from my experience, what I saw was like I use Mac at the moment for my job. So and my personal computer is my personal computer, so I didn't have to deal with CrowdStrike on that. But what was interesting is like when I was on when I was on YouTube, I mean on Twitter, I started seeing like everybody's freaking out. I saw the blue screen of death, and I saw someone's like, I can't even open my fridge because he had one of those smart fridges.
That's funny. Can't even open up your fridge.
That's
That's.
how far technology's gone. It's crazy, actually, when you think about
I mean, it
it.
has.
I, I, I don't know if you. I probably brought this up before. Have you ever played Mega Man Battle Network?
No, I have yet to play that game.
But you know about it, right? Or what do you know about it?
Uh, Nothing. I'll be.
Okay. So it's Mega Man. It's a Mega Man game, but it's a different version or different verse. They're all supposed to be
Yeah.
in the same universe, whatever, but really far different timelines. Anyway, that is irrelevant. Mega Man Battle Network is all about smart computers. Like instead of Mega Man being a robot, he's actually a program. He's actually an artificial intelligence with a digital body. And what was crazy is like you have like a PET or a smartphone or a smart pad with your little personal buddy, and which was Mega Man, and you can jack into everything because everything was smart device or had digital world to it. So you could jack into the oven, you could jack into the fridge, and the
That's. I
the
mean,
plot,
I don't know if I
the
like
villain
that.
or the conflict of it was literally like stuff like what happened with the crowd strike, like something going on in the digital space, and you would go virus busting or whatever syndicate villain Dr. Wily was trying to take over the world through control of the digital space or the internet. So
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
very interesting stuff.
Anonymous would not let some big corporation kind of take hold of our society at one
Well,
point. What?
Dr. Wily wasn't a corporation. He was a syndicate.
I
He was
mean,
a
in our
villainous
society, I don't think that Anonymous would
hacker
let that
group.
slide.
Okay. I didn't even know he was a big Anonymous fan. I don't even know.
Oh, you don't know about Anonymous? Oh man, I
I
was.
do and I don't. I'll be real with you. I do and I don't. I seen him before and things like that. I know there was like he wears the mask from the movies.
V for Vendetta.
Yeah, I know and I don't. So I'll just be real. I ain't gonna fake the funk.
I'd call them the Robin Hood of the internet because
That's what it seemed
there's
like.
so many times that Robin Hood or Anonymous has done good things, and there's so many times that they've done kind of like risque things. But the reality is that Anonymous, to me, from my perspective, is an interesting group of individuals that will stand up when the time does come, because they realize that corporations should not have, as Kendrick said, Kanye says, all that power.
All that. But I just think it's interesting in the sense of like, and this game came out during what I was in middle school,
Yeah.
and like out of a lot of futuristic worlds, that one was actually the nearest to what we have right now. Like everything is smart device. Like I told you, like the fridge, man couldn't open his fridge because it was Wi-Fi and internet. You know,
I mean, can I be honest? That is pretty crazy to know that one day you can just open up your fridge. Oh, one day you'll go to your fridge and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna get me some cereal. You get your cereal, you'll pull everything out, and you go to the fridge and you just want to get some nice cold milk, and you can't do that because the fridge is locked and it's not gonna unlock.
yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy how like how much like because I guess at the end of the day it is like a sign of like how reliant we are on technology. Um, it remind me of like I heard somebody say this been happening for actually longer before like with each advance we kind of forget old skills. I can't even remember who said it. It was a while back, like because it was like someone was making this point with telling time actually, like when there was clocks and stuff. Um, because of the invention of the clock, we forgot how to tell time with shadows. Because people used to have to tell time by with shadows, like how the sun would shine during the hours of the day, and so we lose skills because of technology. And I'll be real, like I used to be able to remember like 6 to 8 phone numbers. Now all I can remember is my mama's phone number and sometimes my dad's number.
Oh man, I agree with that. I think a phone numbers is a great way to start, because I think growing up, my mom, when she had her phone, she was like, "Hey, this is my phone number," and I still remember that number to this day. I know my phone number. I know my sister's and my brother's phone numbers. I know my wife's phone number. But I think, to your point, instead of having your phone, you would have like a phone book of like I think with T-Mobile you had like your top 8. And yes, you did have space on your SIM card, but you didn't have a lot. You only had for like 20 to 30 people. But now with iPhones and Androids, you can have up to like 4 to 500 people, and you don't have to
Yeah,
remember a number. But to your point,
I
if
don't,
your phone dies or there's a situation and you need
bruh.
to contact a person and you don't know their
911.
number, like,
That's all I know. And then my mama's number.
yeah, exactly. I mean, now I'm curious though, because we were talking about technology earlier. What was like the first piece of technology that you remember growing up as a kid?
Man, it was like trying to think, dude. Because like it's so like technology's been there for so long. Like, of course, I think the TV was like the first in some ways, but it wasn't even satellite TV. It was like cable TV. But like one that I always thought was cool was like cameras. And this was like the old day, right? Like now you have cameras on your phone, but uh back in the day, want to make me feel old. You either had the throwaway cameras, right? Where you would get it from Walmart and it'd be in them yellow boxes.
I know what you're talking
And you
about.
just take and you just take pictures and you hit the click like click, take pictures. And then you would have to take it to Walmart for them to print it out.
Yeah,
And then you also have Polaroids, which were the cooler cameras.
I remember as you talk about that, I just looked up on the internet. If you guys want to follow along, it's a VHS-C, and the C stood for compact, because it was basically VHS that you were recording to, and you had to pay for these little bit cassette tapes that you'd put in your camera, and it was just these batteries. And I remember as a kid, my dad bought one, and he recorded like one of my birthdays, and so it's almost as if there is a VHS tape, but it was a pass through. You would put the smaller one inside the regular size VHS tape, and then you would put that tape, and you would have to put a battery inside of that tape so that when you would put it in the VHS, it could help spin the compact VHS tape so you can watch it in a VHS player. Like, just think,
It's wrong.
that was the
Wow.
fix. Like, let's just shrink this down and not create another device for it. Or technically, you could have just played it on the VHS camcorder itself. But my dad would always just plug that in, and we just watched that. Man, talk about technology.
Dude, it's OD. I remember the floppy disk. That was a big one.
Oh man, floppy disk. I had one floppy disk, and I think I had saved some artwork on it for school. It was the old Windows Paint. What was it?
Wow.
Let's see here. Windows, was that 98 Paint? Yeah. It was Paint, like the old one, Windows 98 version. I'm looking at these pictures right now. Can you install it? No way. So apparently you can install it on a newer computer if you wanted to mess around. Windows still does provide it. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I remember like the memory space for a floppy disk was a 1.44 megabyte. Uh,
Megabyte?
Megabytes. That's how small they were. That's crazy,
That is crazy compared to what we have now. I mean, most of
right?
us have
Because like
like,
I remember my mom had a literally a cart, like a shoebox, not cart, shoebox of floppy disks, and all of them were filled.
to the brim.
Because my mom would, my mom, she is a evangelist or a missionary at church, and so she always taught. But she would write down her, her speaking, her messages, or anything like that of that sort. Messages. Yeah, that's all I can really remember. What my mom would really type up as her notes, and she had a lot of notes, and it was literally a shoebox of floppy disks. And they're all been used. Imagine that with like get like thumb drives. Like you couldn't even really thumb drives are like
Oh, man, as you say that,
you couldn't fill that up with documents.
I think about that now. I remember thumb drives. 1 gig thumb drives was back in it was around 2009. I remember this. It was when kind of like the United States economy was it wasn't the best. Kind of happened with the recession, and my mom had went back to college, and so she needed to buy a singular thumb drive. I think she paid like $30 for a 1 gigabyte thumb drive to save
1 gigabyte. It's so
her
crazy.
documents to. But now you can go to Micro Center, and let me see this. I think I got an ad from Micro Center, and you can get a thumb drive size for like 128 gigs for 37 bucks. Or if you get one of the
Wow,
ads, you can get it for free. But yeah, no, a thumb
that's
drive
crazy. Because I
100.
remember even like in college,
Yeah.
it was actually like $30 to buy a 2 or 4 gigabyte
For two to
thumb
four
drive.
gigs? Oh
If I
man.
remember correctly, because it used to be pricey if you wanted to get like an 8 or 10 gigabyte thumb drive. It used to be pricey.
Checking this out right now, you can actually go to Micro Center and you can pay $3.99 for a 32 gigabyte thumb drive today.
Yeah. So
That's
so yeah, so
crazy.
that was around the price that yeah, I remember.
Prices, man. But yeah, no.
It's crazy.
And then what was it? Did you ever have a handheld growing up?
Handheld. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So I had the Game Gear, which will melt your hands off, but it was so cool. That was like my first handle I could really remember. Like I know people had Game Boy, and we did have a Game Boy, but I played the Game Gear a lot more. Oh man, I played Shinobi. I remember playing Shinobi on it, and I want to say I played Sonic as well. Uh,
So you're a Sega veteran.
Dude, I was Team Sega, bro. Dreamcast, R.I.P.
For the longest time, I was Team Nintendo, but then I got a PlayStation, and that kind of changed my perspective.
Hey man, usually people have a Nintendo and a PlayStation these days.
Yeah, what is it? I was playing Crash Bandicoot, and then I remember they came out with Dexter's Laboratory game. What is it called? Let's see here. It was called Dexter's Laboratory Mandark's Lab. Oh man, I played that game so much. Oh, what a fun game. And then I had another, man, I feel like I should just download like an emulator and just play that on my phone before I go to bed tonight. I think I'll do that. Man, that game was fun.
Yeah. And then I went to from that to the Game Boy SP. Game Boy SP was like my solid. That's where I played Mega Man Battle Network on. Funny enough. Played bro, I played Dragon Ball Z, but it was like 6-bit Dragon Ball Z adventure
6
game.
bit Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, it was like, pixel, 2D pixel. I shouldn't say 6-bit. Maybe that was the wrong term, but
Or
it
like
was like
8
just a
bit.
2D, yeah, 8-bit pixel game. Um, like it wasn't old pixel, but it was pixel, and you went through the whole like Saiyan arc, the Namek saga arc, um, and it was funny because when Goku dies in the Saiyan arc, uh, or Saiyan
Goku
saga,
dies?
this guy.
That's sarcasm.
This guy. So on Dragon Way, remember that
Yes, I do
he
remember that.
travels Dragon Way, and how long he traveled that in the in the anime is how long they made it in that daggone game. I never been so mad in my life. I literally was just like, bro, how long is this Dragon Way, bro? They was too faithful because that junk was oh my gosh, it was so bad, bro. It was so bad. Like you had to run through it so much. Um, and then of course, once you go through King Kai's training, you can super dash your way back. They made you go right back through Snake Way, bro. Oh my god,
That's funny.
that junk was crazy. Yeah. And then after Game Boy SP, I went to PSP. I think that was my last handheld.
PSP. I went
I mean, I
from
guess you could count the Switch, but I
yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean that counts. That's a newer one. I think if I'm
But
gonna go a little
yeah.
bit more backdated, I think I had a Game Boy Advance. Never the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy. Game Boy
Mhm.
Advance. My friend had the Game Boy SP. Thought it was the coolest thing ever. Then I had a PSP. Man, I had that PSP for a long time until it broke because I tried
Yes,
to
sir.
what do you call it, firmware break it, which I did for a bit. I was playing all the games, and then I messed up the SD card. And then I had this handheld that you could watch TV shows on it. Let's see what it's called. Handheld. You can watch like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network on it. It was called. Let's see here. What is it called? It was a streaming device. What do you call it? Video handheld device. Oh, why am I not thinking of it? I'm drawing a blank. Video Now is what it was called, maybe.
I don't know. I know the PSP you could watch stuff on.
Oh yeah, it is called Video Now. It was this device. Oh man, they had these little bitty discs. I would watch SpongeBob, and I'm gonna share it with you in chat because this is exactly what it was. But when I tell you, it was just like a device that was like super old and early 2000s. The screen was not even cool to look at. Oh man, jeez. Let me share it with you. But yeah, no, that was one. It wasn't a gaming device, but it was most certainly this device for like long road trips and stuff like that. What else?
Road King.
And then from there,
Yeah,
my
I
mom was
remember
just
playing the
like,
GameCube on road trip.
my mom got me a GameCube. That right there, that made my childhood.
The GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube, that made my childhood.
Interesting. GameCube was definitely fun. Um, oh wow, that's interesting. See, I never had that at all.
Yeah, the video now,
That's crazy.
and
Uh,
the screen was
it does look
horrible.
old.
Screen was horrible.
It does look horrible. I'm not gonna. You're
And
correct.
they had the newer one, but it was video now color, and I think my mom she got us the color one. Yeah, talk about memories, dude. But yeah, uh, what was your first console besides like a handheld?
My first console was the Sega Saturn. I could really remember the Sega Saturn or the Sega Genesis. Um, had good memories, and then uh, our we got the PlayStation, and then the Dreamcast, and PS2,
Okay,
and then PS3,
PS3, PS2. What else?
360.
Oh, you got the
Yeah, the
360.
360.
So you did
I
play
didn't
Call of
have the
Duty.
360, but we got 360 because we
Okay.
used to play Medal of Honor. See, that was the shooter we
Oh
played,
yeah,
and we
Medal of
played that on the
Honor.
GameCube because we it had multiple controllers, and so we played that. And
Oh,
then
did you play
we never got the Xbox, but we
Double
got
O
the
Seven
PlayStation 2.
on N64?
Yes, but
Okay.
I never had an N64.
Okay.
We played that in a friend's house.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Our church, they had that game. Out of all the games they could have
Wow.
had, like on Wednesday night after service, we would just be chilling in the game room playing 007, just killing people. Oh man, it was so much fun.
Yeah, so that's dope. Yeah. That's cool. And so yeah, we had the PlayStation 3 and my dad got the 360 so we could play Halo.
Oh, you took
I
playing
remember
Halo.
that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Playing Halo, I see you.
Um, but and then oh, Nintendo Wii. That was the console I bought actually.
Oh,
I
you bought the
worked
Wii?
part-time at
Okay.
McDonald's. So I bought me the chocolate cell phone,
You bought that
the,
chocolates? I know what phone you're talking
the blue
about.
one, but it was the new one. It wasn't the old one with the bad sensitive pad. It was the one with the wheel, which was sick.
That's cool. The
And then I
chocolate
bought a
one.
Nintendo Wii, which was like mad dangerous back in the day because some people didn't wear their wrist strap.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that. It was funny as you say
And
that.
I watched. It was the compilation videos. I watched them all the time. It was hilarious.
What was it? I think someone had gifted it to us one Christmas. They were like, "Yeah, we're moving out of state. We don't need it. So here's the Nintendo Wii. We never had to buy it." I was like, "Bet. I'll take that."
Yeah, the Wii was fun. Um, yeah, the Wii was fun. I remember that. And then after that, you know, got the PlayStation 4. This is yeah, you know,
Did you get the PlayStation 3?
really. Yeah. I got the
Oh,
PlayStation
so
3.
you got them in
Three-
order. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, 3 was like was interesting, right? Because you either got the 20 gigabyte or the 60 gigabyte,
Yep, I remember that.
and then they stopped selling them, and you can get more gigabytes, like 80 or I think maybe even 120. That's when it went up,
Yeah.
and but it wasn't backwards compatible. I still actually have a 60 gigabyte. I bought a whole new one online.
No way.
for a cheaper price, so I can have backwards compatibility, so I can still play like PlayStation 2 games on that junk and PlayStation 1. Because
See,
that was very important back in the day.
I'm so tempted because I know on the internet right now you can go to eBay and you can either get a jailbroken Nintendo Switch, not a Nintendo Switch, a Nintendo Wii, and they have all the games on there, which is super crazy. My mom was asking about where our games were because she wanted to play like Wii Fit and stuff like that. I was like, man, you gotta go buy the game and all that. And I stumbled on eBay, and you can get a jailbroken PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2, and then you can also get a jailbroken GameCube and Nintendo Switch. So there's a guy who literally just has these large SSDs, and he'll install every single game to existence onto this kind of CD drive that connects it in, and it's like $250. But again, everything's already installed, so it's like essentially plug and play for you. It doesn't even connect to the internet, so you're not playing with other people. But if you just wanted to play an old Wii game, you can just sit there and save up some money and just play those games all night long.
Interesting. I see. That sounds cool. Jailbroke stuff was always interesting to me.
Did you ever
I
jailbreak
remember,
anything?
not really, to be fair. I never really. I mod stuff. I have now downloaded mods for games, but I never jailbroke anything. Like there was one time I was actually kind of wanted to be real with you, because I wanted the Naruto game, Naruto Ultimate Ninja
Okay.
3, like there was like Naruto and Ultimate Ninja games that haven't came out here in the US. They eventually did, but at one time they didn't, and I had to look it up because you had to break it because it was region locked.
Oh yeah,
So
for
even if
sure.
you got the foreign game, I would have to break it for because it was region locked. And that's when I was kind of looking into it. My brain was kind of fried, and I was just like, huh. Because I never like, I don't know. I wasn't growing up into a family where like my dad was a aero mechanic and my mom did hair. So I didn't grow up in a household with people doing tech and
It's,
stuff like that.
oh no, that's fair. I think
Um,
that was brought into our household unbeknowingly. So a lot of our technology that we did have was from my friends from high school, and then my cousin's friends as well, and then also my brother. And so we had a computer, and we did a lot of stuff on that computer. We had LimeWire, we got stuff on our Zooms, we had MP3 players. My brother, he would make mixtape CDs, and he'd sell it to people in high school for like 15, $16. If there was like a new
cool.
album that dropped, he'd just do it. So I remember going to the store with my sister and brother, and they literally bought like 32 discs, and they made sure that they burned it. And so then they take it to high school. So we were that
Wow.
family. We were the ones trying to figure it out. And then when I started dibbling in technology, I was like, "You telling me I could get this game and I don't have to pay for it because I didn't have a job and my mom and dad didn't have the income?" Man, I bought what I needed to do. I turned paper clips into like tweezers to take apart of the battery for the PSP to jailbreak our computer. Or not necessarily jailbreak it, but mod it. Man, anything that was tech related that we could jailbreak it, we definitely got away with it.
That's what's up. 'Cause I know we burned some CDs, that's for sure. And I think my brother was doing a lot of the LimeWire stuff. But well, we did get some bootleg movies. We did get one.
Did you go to the barbershop or you just knew somebody?
Somebody gave it to us. It just came to the family. Somebody gave it to us,
I like how you
and
say that.
it was Wolverine. It was just somebody like I can't remember who. Somebody at church. They got a copy of Wolverine. That bad movie Wolverine, the one
Yeah.
where they sewn Deadpool's mouth.
Yeah. What was it? So I
It was
remember.
really bootleg, like for real.
Oh, like bad pixelated. You can't really see what's happening.
Like there was some good stuff, and then there was one scene I always remember. It was the Cyclops scene where he like blows down the building. Like he's a young Cyclops, and the glasses fall off, and his beam is going through the air.
Yeah.
It shows the 3D model, the rough edge, the fill
Oh, so
in.
you guys got a pre-production
Yeah, it
of the
was literally one of
movie.
those like rough copy of the movie.
I
Uh,
remember that people were
Probably had
literally
proof of
hacking into
concept.
the studio, hacking into the studio to get this type of footage before it was fully released. Man, that was wild.
That
Somebody
is
was,
crazy, right?
it's like, yo, my cousin, he works at the studio. I got you, man,
It's crazy how that circulated around.
on the
Crazy.
internet.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably was from the internet. I didn't know where they got it from, but you know, they had it.
And what else from there? I think after I went to college and culinary school, I told you I gave my PlayStation 4 to my dad because I don't need it. And then after coming back from college, I was like, you know what? I don't want to spend money on a console. I got educated in college, and I was like, I'm just gonna buy a PC. So I saved up my money, and then I built my first PC back in like 20. I think it was like 2014. Best money I've ever spent on a computer, for sure.
Mm, I see.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was
I
totally
built my
worth it in my
computer.
opinion.
Yeah. I remember building my computer. I was able to put it together. I just had problems with the wiring and uh my pops helped me out. We was doing that together. And then I have updated it now, but um yeah, I updated it a bit now, but uh I do like having a PC and where I'm at now, I usually just stay on my PC out of convenience. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do turn on my PS5, but it just seems more convenient. It's just crazy. And now I think about it, like if something happened to my PC, I'm like, bro,
What am I supposed to do? How do you live if you ain't got your PC?
well, I like all my writing is like on Google Docs. So like that's actually like part of me is like, yeah, dude, like my entertainment and stuff like that. But the other part is like my artistic, like what I'm trying to write right now, like my book and all of that. That's online. And it's like if something happens, it's like, what am I supposed to do?
See,
But I
now,
don't want to go back to the old days of like writing on a typewriter though. I don't know. It's just
I mean, you won't go that far back. If anything, I feel like you could invest in like as much as I say this, you could invest in a cheap Chromebook because if that's what a typewriter is a Chromebook, you can literally type everything up you want to on the online version of Windows Docs or like Google Chrome because it's being saved to the cloud, and the only thing you're using that Chromebook for is typing.
yeah, of course. I mean, even one better, you can just save it on that Chromebook specifically, and not put it online.
No,
So
yeah,
it'll
for
be
sure.
saved,
I didn't even
you
think
know.
about that. Yeah, that's fair.
Um, but it's just, just a thought, at the end of the day, is like, you know, how dependent technology has made us in some ways. Some ways it's bad, and in some ways it's good.
No, I agree with that. I think when it comes to technology, we always have to make sure that we're taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture because I do agree there are some pieces of technology that I realize we need to reevaluate how we utilize it on any given daily basis.
Yeah. I think we just need to be honest and aware. I always just feel that way. Like if we're going down a path, the most we could always do is just make sure that we are aware of the path and not be prideful in it, but acknowledge that it might not be the best. You know what I mean? Or it's not, perfect. There you go. Not
Oh,
best, but it's not perfect. And I think sometimes that's what happens. We get very, very comfortable, like nothing bad can happen and
oh
you
yeah,
don't
I
have no
know.
backups. And I think that's what it is. It's like when you think it's nothing's perfect, then you just feel like, oh, let's have some backups or let's have some skills that, some skill sets that we refresh ourselves, maybe go out fishing or something. Do
What is
have a
that?
little
What do they say? Go out and touch grass.
or like grow be able to grow your own your own food, touch grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree with that, man. But I think that we're coming to the end of the podcast. That was our podcast today. Hopefully, it's a little bit better, and the format that we're trying to utilize a little bit more free flowing. But like you said, that episode 2, it'll come out when it comes out. Don't you rush us. We take our
Yes,
time.
all all of our fans, all the listeners in high demand, just pressuring us right now. They
Yeah.
just filling up our
Let's
DMs.
just take 5 seconds to just feel the
I
stress.
guess I'm speaking that in the future.
Yeah,
Let me
okay,
just
that's
speak that in
fair.
the future. I guess I'm being cynical. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's
Lord
cool.
forgive me. I'm being so cynical. It's crazy.
Nah, man. I mean, you're just being real. I mean, you're being really cynical, is what you're being. Done.
Hilarious.
But yeah, no, that was Nove. Wait, my bad. I did it backwards. Well, this is Tech.
Sure, you know where I might know. I don't know yet. this is this is Nova chilling.
And this is Tech, your boy. As we always say, we outside. Come back for the next
He says that.
episode. I do
He
say
said that,
that.
and he ruined it. He ruined
I
that
will
phrase for
always
me.
say we outside.
He ruined that phrase. He didn't even start off. I'm the one who showed him the phrase. Don't believe
They
this.
don't need to know that. They can listen to
I'm
episode
sorry.
2. Oh, wait. They won't be able to listen to it.
This guy. Anyways, we love y'all. Stay blessed. Always.
Peace.
Peace.